Hey there, folks. Welcome to the Jason Wright Show. So those of you who are watching on the YouTube channel, you see that I'm holding my guitar. Now, don't worry. I'm not going to play it for you because, in a word, I suck. I'm terrible. I am probably the worst guitar player ever. I have not picked up the guitar in so long, but I just recently, I said this on a Monday Morning Mentor recently that actually it's been like 2 episodes in a row. I've talked about brain health and trying to really dial into my cognitive health and my brain health. I'm going to put this down. And one of the things I'm trying to do is learn to play the guitar again. I've picked it up off and on now for probably 10 years, and I've never gotten any good at it. And something profound happened today whenever I was actually practicing. And I had no intention of doing an episode of the show based on what happened. Then I watched this video of Will Ferrell, who my wife cannot stand, but I think is freaking hilarious. I'm a big Will Ferrell fan. I have been for years. I remember watching SNL when it was funny and it wasn't just purely political tripe. And so back in those days, you had guys like Will Ferrell. And that's whenever I was first introduced to him. And I mean, pretty much anything he's ever done, I love. I'm a huge Elf fan. If you know anything about me, you know every Christmas at Hot Tots Mine and Gimlin store, I dress up as Buddy the Elf. So I go all in. Old school, classic, Wedding Crashers. I mean, he's Chaz. His cameos in the Todd Phillips and Adam McKay movies are just fantastic. I'm a Will Ferrell fan. And I just saw this little interview with him that came up. I say little because it was just a clip of the interview. And it was Will Ferrell talking about whenever he decided to go into comedy. And he described how he sat his dad down and told him that this is what he was going to do. He said, I'm going to give this a shot. And he didn't even know what that meant. He said, I don't know what that means to give it a shot, but I'm going to give it a shot. And his dad did something that I thought was really cool. He said, I'm not worried about you not having enough talent. He said, I think you've got the talent. That's good. But he said, but the bottom line is to make it in entertainment, it's going to require a lot of luck. And he said that there's nothing you can account for with regard to luck. Either you get lucky or you don't. He said, but I want you to know something. If at any time you decide that it's just not working out and you're not having the luck or people aren't recognizing the talent and you want to quit, that's okay. It's okay. And so Will Ferrell said that he went into it thinking to himself that this isn't do or die. Worst case scenario, I go do something else, but at least I'll have tried. Here's how it relates to me playing the guitar. So I have downloaded Guitar Tuna. I think that's what it's called. Guitar Tune instead of like, I guess to play on words for Guitar Tuner. It's Guitar Tuna. Little app. And I'm playing it today. And there's this section. It's an exercise where you take 4 basic chords, and when they come up on the screen, you play those chords. And it's timed, it's a countdown, and so you only have so long to try to play the chord, as many chords as possible. And there was something that happened today that made me realize it's okay if I fail. It's okay if I don't just perfect this right now. And when I did that, when I relieved the pressure of thinking I've got to get so many notes and a lot of the time I've got to beat my personal best. If I don't have to do that, I can just try. It doesn't have to sound worth a crap. It can sound whatever, but just get through it and practice like nobody's watching because there's nobody watching. It was so low stakes. And whenever I gave myself that permission to just have fun with this, relax, quit trying to be so performance-based, there is no success or failure. There's just learning. Then all of a sudden, I hit a personal best for the first time. This reminds me also of whenever I first started reading Carol Dweck's work about mindset. And I've talked about this a lot on the podcast. So for those of you who have listened for a while, I've covered this topic ad nauseum, that I'm a reforming or recovering fixed mindset guy. Everything for me was about performance, making sure I looked good. I wanted to make sure people, I thought I was smart, whether I was or not. I just needed you to think I'm smart, think I'm successful, think I'm talented. And so that makes everything a zero-sum game. There's all this pressure to perform, instead of just learn, enjoy, game, and understand there's always the opportunity to just back away. Now, this isn't a permission to have quitting as an option to not do your best. You should always go into anything you do with full vigor, with all your heart. But I think a lot of times what we do in life, whether it's Will Ferrell starting out in his career as an actor and comedian, or me trying to play the guitar, or whatever it is, we create these scenarios in which it's zero sum, it's do or die, and that pressure causes us to collapse. When in fact, if you would just relax and realize, worst case scenario, you just don't ever get really good at this thing. That's okay. I wish that this had happened to me whenever I was a kid. I learned that much later in life that a lot of tennis players, they learn to play tennis by swinging as hard as they can, because at a minimum, they learn to swing hard, and then the mechanics come after they start swinging hard. And so when their mechanics catch up with their swing, at least they have the nature at that point, the instinct to swing hard. I never did that. And so as I got older, I'm a terrible tennis player because I cannot do a good topspin. I can't swing hard because I always held back. I was so worried on mechanics and placing the ball perfectly to where I could never hit it with any real velocity. That always held me back. And just sidebar, another story kind of like Will Ferrell's. Stevie Nicks, whenever she decided that she wanted to be an entertainer, she told her dad. And her dad's conversation with her was similar to that of Will Ferrell's with his father. She said, look, here's the deal. College is 4 years. And so here's what we're going to do. You go out and you try to be a musician. And after 4 years, if you haven't made it, we don't see any measurable success, then you're going to go to school. But if you're making it, and if you are doing, if you're making money, whatever kind of metric they put in place, then we'll keep going, and I'm going to help support you in that. And so she went out there with a safety net, knowing that worst case scenario, I don't make it, but I still get to go to school. I just think that's really cool for us as parents to be able to tell our kids that don't make everything zero sum, do or die. I'm not going to do it for you. And I'm not going to tell you that you're a good actor or a good musician if you're not. But if you go and you try and the market says you're not, then that's okay. I got you. This is okay. Don't make this a do or die scenario. And so the main message that I'm taking from this thing that just hit me when I was playing the guitar, that no one's watching. No one cares whether I play really crappy, really well. No one cares. So just freaking have fun with it and learn to play for the sake of playing. Whatever it is that you're trying to do. And this relates to anything that you might be doing. And again, it's not about saying that, well, it's okay. I can always quit. Instead, it's like, I'm going to go all out at this thing. I'm going to give it everything I have. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate the potential regret, because I'm going to try. I'm going to know that there's always a time. My life will not be defined by the success or the failure of this thing I'm trying to do. But I'm going to try it and understand that if it doesn't work out, I can quit this and I can move on to something else and pour my energy into that thing. But this isn't do or die. That's what I really wanted to convey. And when you do that, when you make life somewhat of a game, and you realize that there's very few things in this life that we're going to face where the stakes are really, really high. Most things that we go through on a daily basis that we choose to do are pretty low stakes. The real tragedy, I think, that so many of us face is when we don't realize that the stakes aren't as high as we make them in our head. And that even if it doesn't work out, you can quit and move on, is that you never tried to begin with. That to me is the tragedy. There's a great book by Daniel Pink, which it's called the well, it's about regret. I can't remember the name of it. Gosh, I wish I could remember the title of it. But just remember Daniel Pink, Regret. If you remember, go Google the book. And one of the things he talks about is that there was this huge thing called the World Regret Project, where they went around, they asked like so many people over so many years, what are your biggest regrets? And inevitably, it wasn't things that they had done, even when it came to people that had done some really, really bad things. The thing that always ranked the highest was the things that people hadn't done. You see, the thing is, there's no do-overs, right? We know that there's no do-overs in life. And if you get to a point where you can no longer do certain things, because that's going to happen to all of us physically, just the rigors of life that come, and to eliminate that regret, you got to try a bunch of things. And so I hope that when you hear this, if there's something in your mind that you've ever wanted to pursue, if you wanted to take the next job, if you wanted to write the book, if you wanted to write the song, if you want to go do stand-up, whatever the case may be, hell, it might even be a matter of you doing it and then knowing that you can quit. It may just be a matter of you just doing it to say you did it. There's nothing stopping you. And that's the thing I want you to take from this episode, is that don't let the stakes in your mind that you've made so high cause you to not even try something that whenever you are on your porch at 85 years old in the sunset period of your life, looking back going, damn, I wish I would have at least tried it. I wish I would have at least told her that I loved her. I wish I would have asked her out. I wish I would have just at least written the book, and heck, I just sent it to somebody. I wish I would have, again, done the stand-up. I wish I would have learned to play the guitar. Whatever it may be, don't let yourself get there. Don't cause yourself to place such high stakes on things that you don't even try. It's never do or die. You can always quit and move on. But I guarantee you, one thing you will never regret is that you at least tried for a moment. I guarantee. So here's the thing. Here's where I'm going to end this. You will always regret not starting way more than quitting. I can almost guarantee it. I'm Jason, and I'm out. I'm Jason, and I'm out. Well, that does it for this episode of The Jason Wright Show. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a Texas Titan Media production. Fourth Wall did the music. And as always, thank you so much for listening. Please consider going out to jasonwrightnow.com and signing up for the Vitruvian Letter. Also, please go out to iTunes. It takes like 30 seconds to just leave us a 5-star rating. It does wonders for the podcast. I would be so grateful. And with that, until we meet again, go crush it and endeavor to improve always in all ways. I'm out.
This episode of The Jason Wright Show is brought to you by Authentic Health. If you've been listening for a while, you know Jason is passionate about living better, longer, and stronger. And Authentic Health is a key part of that mission. Their foundational supplement stack is designed to support your body at the cellular level, protect against toxins, and give you the fuel you need to perform at your best, whether that's in the gym, at work, or just in everyday life. And because you're a listener of The Jason Wright Show, you can get an exclusive discount. Just visit shopauthentichealth.com and use the promo code JASON at checkout. Take ownership of your health and join me in building a stronger, healthier future with Authentic Health.